Hello there. Today's bird is the oystercatcher. I love oystercatchers. You can find them all the way around the UK coastline and they're very striking to look at. They have orange bills, a long orange bill, pink legs and a black and white body. And when they fly, they can be really noisy, which sounds a little bit like this. Beep, 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 beep. I know, another really bad impression, but it gives you an idea. And they love to eat cockles and mussels and use their long bill to prise open the shells of the cockles and mussels. And they also quite like limpets too. Limpets live under a shell on rocks along the coast, and the oystercatcher will use its long bill to get in between the bottom of the shell and the rock to try and hoik it off and get at the limpet inside. And also, if you've got a long bill, it means that you can probe your bill into the ground in search of worms. So they're pretty clever birds. So today's bird is the oystercatcher, and these are the things you'll need to draw along. Okay, so we're going to start with the beak or the bill, and you remember in the intro I said that oystercatchers have very long orange bills, so it's like a long V like that. Okay, our oystercatcher is going to be looking in that direction, and then a shorter V here at the top of the beak, and then take a line from here down to the bottom, and that's going to allow our beak to open so that our oystercatcher can eat all those cockles and mussels. And then from the top of the beak here, I'm just going to go up like that and over. Okay, that's the head of our oystercatcher. And the oystercatcher eye I'll put in just whilst I'm here, which is high up like this, and then a black dot in the middle. We'll come back to that in a bit. And then we're going to follow the back of the head here and create the back of our bird. So extend that line a little bit, and then from here I'm just going to go out like that and then down the way a little bit and do some feathers there. Okay, and then come back to the bottom of the beak here, and we'll put in a little line like that, and then we're going to do a big curve that comes round like this towards the front of the body, but not too far, and then it goes all the way under, which is our bird's belly, and then up towards the back there. So let's do that. So a little curve. Oops, that's not enough of a curve. So a little curve like this. Take it down like that, and then more of a curve under the bird and back up towards his wings like that, his feathers. Okay. And this extra line doesn't really matter because the markings of the oystercatcher are black and white, so we're going to do that next. So we're going to start our markings from about here. You can find that area on your bird, and then we're going to take the line up towards the head and then draw an upside down U, or an N for Nigel actually would be better, wouldn't it? So take the line up towards the head, draw an N, a backwards N, and then we're going to take the line on a journey, on a big swoopy journey that comes down here and then back up towards the feathers up here. Okay, so let's do that then. I take the line up towards the head, a back to front N, like that, and then round we go. This is the wing, then back to the back of the body like that. Okay, and I think what we'll do is, because I don't have a black pencil or crayon and I'm using my pencil to colour in, it means that you should be able to see some detail. So I'm going to add some feathers to my oyster catcher. Didn't have any feathers on the last bird, so, well, they did have feathers, but you just don't see them so clearly. So we're doing our little U's here, and then we'll do some longer U's like that, and then some longer U's still like this. And then some lines that go back towards the tail feathers there. Okay. And we'll colour in the head of our oyster catcher whilst we're here. And then we're going to colour in our little feathers that we drew. So you end up with the black markings, but hopefully you'll still be able to see the shape of the feathers underneath. And it doesn't matter if you leave some white marks, because that I think is nice, because it looks like light reflecting off the bird. Gives a nice texture. So you can pause the video here and colour this bit in, and I'm going to speed it up. Our lovely oyster catcher. Now I'm going to give the oyster catcher some legs. So take a line from about the middle to back here, and don't draw it in, but follow it down to the bottom here, and that's roughly where you want your legs. So we'll put in a leg here, and the other part of the leg, and then put in some toes, one on the back like that, and then some ends. Oh, that's a rather large foot. Okay, oyster catchers don't have feet quite that big. And then put in a leg on the back there. I think this is looking a bit like a cartoon oyster catcher, but that's okay. Okay, so then we're going to take our pink crayon and colour in the legs of our oyster catcher. And then you remember I said that oyster catchers have orange bills, so we need our orange crayon. We'll colour that in. And they're not bright orange, so what we could do is then take our red crayon and just ever so gently go over the top of the orange crayon, like that. Oh yes, that looks good. And then whilst we've got the red crayon, oyster catchers have red markings around the eye, so colour that in as well. Okay, so we're almost there. The last thing is we need to put in some dots. I wonder what these dots could be. Can you guess? What do you think these dots might represent? What do you think they might be? So if you think about where you find oyster catchers, find them along the coast. And what do you find? What's the ground like along the coast in some places? If you're near a beach. So you might have a few of these and maybe some bigger ones. And some round ones. And some big ones and some little ones. Okay, so rocks, that's what you find on the beach, or pebbles, some beaches in the UK. And then we're going to take our, because I don't really have a sandy colour crayon, we're going to take our yellow crayon, okay, and we're going to just put a bit of yellow on. It doesn't matter if you smudge your pencil lines. I quite like smudged pencil lines on sketches. Now I'm going to take my orange crayon and very gently just go over the top. See how that looks. Oh yes, that's looking sand-like. And take our yellow, this is me getting carried away now, take yellow crayon again and you can just go back over the orange. Like that. That looks a bit beach-like. And I think we're about there. Yeah. So there you have it, a lovely oyster catcher. Just ignore the bits of writing on it. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye.